Hey, yo, what's up, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Matchmaker. Man, before we get started, I would like for you guys to go ahead and hit the like button, right? That's how we get this channel out in the algorithm. Y'all see, I got my young bull back on. He wants to make an announcement tonight. So I say, what better way than to make an announcement, than to come back on here and bless your guy, with the opportunity to let me know the announcement. So, I appreciate you coming on. But for those who don't know, man, go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
My name Ramel Wood. On Instagram, my name SBG Mill. I'm a reigning national champ with Walkers Hornets, Brownie Boys. Yeah, that's me.
Definitely. Okay, so um again, last season, y'all won the nationals, and I guess since then, you probably been thinking about what's your next move is going to be, and you had you may obviously have more than one option, to stay at the Bounty Boys, or you can go to any other facility and stuff like that. What were you doing, pretty much on the off season? What were some of the things that that you were, just looking at, what I'm saying, just throughout the off season?
Well, I was still deciding I wanted to go to Johnson or stay with Bounty Boys. And, I was putting in work, like
Okay.
always. But
So
my
how
mindset
long
was
has that been a
that,
decision? I'm sorry. How long has that been a decision of yours? Like, how long have you been thinking about it?
well, it been, well, actually, I committed, like, before we won before national championship. I've been committed. But after we won that championship, I was second guessing because I wanted to
Okay.
come back to Walkers.
So
And
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
Nah, because I was gonna say, like, you said you committed. So what was the initial doubt, and what made you decide not to go? What was it the first time that made you change your mind?
I kind of wanted to run it back with Walkers, still my brothers. That was kind of
Okay.
the reason.
And so
Yeah,
this time, I'm pretty sure you had the same feeling, but you decided, like, okay, this is my last ride. Let
yeah.
me just go ahead and make that decision. And so, was there anything that the coach was able to convince you of, or it's just a decision that you and your pops, decide to make? Well, I got coach on here right now. Hey, coach, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Sorry for the delay, man. I was trying to log on.
Oh man, no problem, man. I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you coming on here. I
Thank
would
you.
like to thank you for that first, but go ahead and introduce yourself, to those who may not know you.
Coach Mike Sharrieff, head football coach and athletic director at John H. Johnson Middle School located in Washington, D.C.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So I was talking to Mel, and I was just asking him, like, what was one of the deciding factor, especially after, winning a national championship, which is something that you have quite bit of. I seen some of the some of your resume, and for one, man, I love what you do, and I love the fact that that you decided to take on the task of, as they would consider, young troubling men. So
Right.
I would like to ask you, what made you decide to go that route?
Well, I think when we first got over to Johnson, being in the ward that we're in, the part of the city that we're in, it's part of the city that's written off.
Okay.
That community, those young people in that community, they were written off as their routes were going to be one or two ways: cemetery or jail. Very few were going to be successful. And what I realized was there wasn't really a plan for that age group. to avoid those two options of cemetery or jail. So we came up with what we think is a pretty good plan that keeps those guys, from those pitfalls that was predicted for them. And it happened through football and, of course, academics and the structure that's required to maintain and advance your career, academically and in football. We just put some things in place we felt structured wise that would help these guys reach their goals and destinations.
Okay. And so now that Mel decided to go to your school, right? The school that you've been at, I want to say about 22 years, 23 years or something like that.
20, it'll be 25 years this fall.
25 years. So what are some of the things that you have planned for him? Not specifically, but like the way that you looking to utilize him, or the way that you feel like you could have utilized him just a little better.
I think, first of all, everybody that's coached him so far has done a tremendous job with him. He's polished. He's ready to go. And you don't get a lot of kids, man, that are at his age that are polished and ready to go. What we're looking to do with him is get him ready for not ready for high school because, he has 1 year with us. We want to get him foundationally ready for college. So let's expand on some of the things that those other places might not have the opportunity because of lack of resources or space or time, whatever those restraints may have been. Let's enhance his football IQ. Let's get him thinking football at a higher level, understanding the game at a higher level, because when he gets to high school, it's going to be played a lot bigger and a lot faster and a lot more physical. So you got to now process the mathematics in that part of the game, understanding the angles and stuff like that, because you won't be the biggest, fastest, or strongest, anywhere else that you go after you leave middle school ball. So yeah, we want to enhance that part of him, get his body to change, to develop, a little bit more as far as his body. But football wise, his toughness, he's a tough kid. His skill set, second to none. And we're ecstatic to have him over there with us. We had a down year in our secondary this year, and we're looking to have a great year with him in the secondary this year. But I think skill set wise, he's ready to go. We just want to enhance the football IQ and the body.
Got you. Hey, that's it. That's it right there. So, and that's the thing, development is always important, but I feel like that's kind of a lost art in today's cause. So I'm very excited to even hear you, mention that in the aspect. And there was something that I also wanted to touch on. Because I don't want people to lose sight of the great things that you did. I'm not sure exactly what year it happened, but at some point when you came to the school, there were problems with getting the
Mm-hmm.
parents to come to the school, right, to watch the kids play. I want to know, as far as an update, how did you change that culture, and is it still an ongoing problem?
Our games now are the most anticipated and watched games in our city. Our parents travel well. We went to Memphis to play our first game. We had more parents on our side than Memphis had in their own stadium. And that changed when we kind of, I want to say, gave them an expectation that they had to participate and they had to do more. We're fighting for your kids' lives. Fight with us. Don't fight against us.
Right.
Again, like I said, there is no plan for 11 to 14-year-old kids. I don't think anywhere that you can say is a rock solid plan for that particular age group. Well, the plan has to have a perfect alignment in order to get these guys where they're trying to go. So that's the school, that's the community, that's the coaches, that's the parents, and that's the players. Right? Everybody has to be lined up. If we're all fighting for the same thing, then we should be standing in the same place. That means game day, if we're all fighting for the same thing, we should all be standing in the stadium or sitting inside the stadium. So I think that was the biggest turn there, is when we kind of communicated more directly to the parents about, hey, if I gave you guys season tickets to your favorite NFL team, you would go to every home game. right? Well, those players don't know you, nor do they care if you're really sitting there because they don't know you, right? They're going to get paid whether the stadium's full or not. But you got season tickets to your son's game, and they care if you're sitting there, and those memories are priceless, right? You don't know in this time and day, anything can happen to any one of us. We can't take time or events for granted. And that's just kind of the message we relay to everybody. These are priceless moments in your son's and your life, and if something unfortunate was to take place, what gets you through some of those times would be your memories. You don't want to live with regret. You want to live with memories.
Right. So I think something happened to Mel. All right, Mel. So Ramel, so what are some of the things that actually attracted you, to this school as well? I think something wrong. Well, yeah, once you get that situated. But yeah, man, I'm actually, I'm more intrigued about it because there are situations, right, where this happens often. Like you got a lot of drug infested neighborhoods, kids get caught in the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's- That I must say is that the kids in this moment, they try to find a solution to a problem, right? And in most cases, they don't do that. They don't try to find solutions. They just talk about the problem, but then, it's just that. So my thing is, like the fact that they end up coming up with it as it seems to me by themselves. Do are those kids? Do you know where they currently at? Are they in college? Like what is the progression of those kids?
The ones that have, let me see if I'm answering this correctly. You're asking about the kids who particularly don't have a solution, or they try to work it out on their own. That's what you're asking about?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So we do have kids who fall into that category, and they struggle, and in some cases, some of them have figured out a way. It may not have been the way we wanted them to go, but the
Mhm.
great thing is I'm always here, and they know that. So a lot of times the bounce back is, let me go back to coach, and I use this as an example. We've all grown up and heard our mothers say things to us, right? And we heard it, but we weren't listening.
Mhm.
But when that moment presents itself, now you're listening to what you heard. You know what I mean? So a
Right.
lot of those kids who heard me say or heard us say certain things might not have got it at that moment, but now they're listening, and they also can come back and say, hey, coach, I kind of got off track. Help me get back on track. And that's the real reason why I won't leave middle school and why I won't leave Johnson. Because I always want to make sure that if they have to come back, I'm available to them.
Right. Okay. So you let me know that that you can utilize him on a field. He got the skill. He's very good. But how does he fit into your program, in your opinion?
You're talking about Ramel now,
Yes, sir.
right? Ramel is one of the things we require from all of our kids is toughness. You got to be tough, right? It's a
Mhm.
tough sport, but playing for Johnson, we even got to be tougher than that, because every week we're playing what feels like a national championship game, um, and the pressure we put on ourselves. We chase perfection. So Romel is tough. He
Mhm.
brings toughness with him, right? And that's the number one attribute that I look for out of everybody. But more importantly, playing defensive back, you got to be confident,
Right.
not cocky. You can have some cockiness to you, but I prefer more confidence than cocky, because
Mhm.
confidence only comes when you've done the work.
Right.
When you've done all the work, all the preparation, all the film study, you've done everything. You got all the reps at practice, and you know what you know. Now you're confident walking to the game. Well, Ramel's naturally confident. He's already a confident kid who is not cocky.
Right.
While watching him in workouts, he works his butt off. He doesn't complain. He's not a diva. He just wants to be the best that he can be every single time he steps out. Right. And that's what attracted me so much to him, is that confidence and that desire to get better and to be coached. And then he got a tremendous family support. His family's tremendous, you
Mhm.
know. So all these things says, hey, this is a perfect fit for us. He's going to be arguably, and I'll say it even, I'll say it on this platform, and I'll say it now. He will be the best defensive player in the city next year.
And it's not hard to believe. So, I read that you guys also travel. Is that something that you guys are doing this year, traveling to other
Yes,
middle school teams? And is there
yes.
any team? Because I know you mentioned down south. Is there any team that you guys are playing in Georgia?
We tried to get with Rome in Georgia.
Dope
We've been
team.
trying to play. We've been trying to play Rome. You know about Rome, right?
Yeah, I know about
So
Rome.
yeah, we've been trying to play Rome for a couple of years. Hopefully, we can get that done. We were excited to possibly have played them in 2020, but the pandemic wiped it out for us. They continued to play, but we didn't. But we would love to go against Rome. But we are going to Jacksonville, Florida, and we're going back to Memphis.
Mm. Hey, so what is your expectations, Ramel?
My expectations to get high school prepared, cause I feel like Johnson's like it's going to help me prepare for the next level a lot.
Okay.
So that's more my expectation.
So you just basically more so um worried about getting help far as the development, right? Enhance to that next level.
Yeah, I think Johnson has all that for me.
Is there anything about the culture that you like specifically, or have you went to this school before, or this the first time, like this first year?
No, I've been working at school, but I haven't, like, never went to the school. I mean, like I never went, like have been in school at the school yet.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. I think, man, like I say, when when I heard about it, that I heard that you wanted to make an announcement. I kind of, figured out what it was. But after I read on Coach Mike, I say, man, hey, that's not a bad decision. In fact, I like what it is that he's doing because you community oriented. I read about the fact that you guys are, giving back, doing stuff like that, and just serving the community. So I think that's something that we all need to experience at some point, so we can understand where we been, where some people are at, and then just understand where we coming from. So that was another thing that I liked it about you playing for this gentleman. So
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
you welcome. See, he gave me. They gave me some homework to do, and I was excited, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not that often that people are more concerned about the academics. Because I seen that you got a 3.0 standard that
It's three. Actually, it's 3.5 now.
oh, it's 3.5 that players
Yes.
must maintain. Any F's, you're gonna be on the sideline. You're gonna be in what Saturday school or something like that.
Saturday
So
school. Yep.
yes, sir. So those are the things that's gonna enhance the kids to be better. You see what I'm saying? Because even if you don't make it through a scholarship, you got an academic. You know what I'm saying? I
Exactly.
mean, as far as a
Exactly.
football scholarship, you can get an academic one. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yep.
still walk on and play football if you're good enough for that program. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I appreciate that from you, man. But what made you heighten it to 3.5?
I think the way we do things, we have goals, expectations, and standards. So once something is a goal, it's a goal for 2 years. Once we've hit it for 2 years, we move it to standard.
Okay.
So now that we've maintained a 3.0 for the last 2 years, 2+ years, I say, that they're doing this too easy now.
Hmm.
And this raises to 3.5, because again, we're always chasing perfection. Well, what's perfection is a 4.0. So when you talk to me 2 years from now, the expectation may be you have to have a 4.0 to play for us, right? But when you give these guys these expectations and goals, you have to have the resources in place to help them achieve them. You just can't give them a goal and say, figure it out. You have to have
Mhm.
the support from the school and the parent to say, hey, we're going to do Saturday school. We need help. Or to the principal, we need resources for Saturday school. We need more laptops, whatever it may be. And I look at the landscape of college football, how it's changing dramatically. It's harder now to get a college scholarship with all the changes done in college sports. Okay. And you hit it on the head. I ask kids when I meet them, do you want to go to college? Because if you don't want to go to college, chances are you're not going to be successful here. If you tell me you want to go to college and I say where you want to go and you say Alabama, okay, great. I'm not asking if you want to play college football. You said you want to go to college.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if you have grades that most universities can't say no to, then you can go to whatever college you just said you want to go to.
Right.
Right now, playing football, that's a totally different conversation. But you told me you want to go to college. So I'm going to help you foundationally get the things you need as far as the long day. Our day starts at 8 a.m. and it ends about 8:39 p.m. every day, all year long. And our kids go to study hall for 2 hours, and then they got to go to football workouts or football practice. Okay, that we're trying to emulate what's going to happen for you at college. And if you can balance these books and balance these sports you have to play, and balance your workouts and balance your community service, well, guess what? You've already got the foundational pieces for college,
Mhm.
and chances are you're going to graduate. And that's the end game for you. That's the plan. That's the end game.
And I commend Ramel because a lot of times, man, in youth football, these are the very things that you know a lot of people, our kids, our parents run from because they don't want to uphold those type of standards. So the fact that you are putting them in a position to where they get to practice now, I think that's why your students may be very successful. That's why I believe that a lot of teams like Rare Breeds is successful as well because they have more so like a high school college type of approach, far as for the game and stuff like that. So some people may not get it. I get it and I agree with it wholeheartedly because if you ain't got the grades, you ain't gonna play. You know,
Exactly.
and that's just the basics, that a lot of people tend to ignore because if you already preparing them and condition them for these things now, it's just gonna be a cakewalk. I mean, I'm used to it, so that's
Yep.
why, like I say, man, I'm definitely on board with that. So let's talk about because I seen the video and it was about 7 months ago, and you guys were on like a 60 something game win streak. You guys was on like a 60 something game win streak. What was the level of success that you guys had this previous year?
Well, we finished up with 83 straight wins.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, 83 straight. And I tell you, man, it was taxing. To maintain and sustain it was taxing. But exciting at the same time. Because again, you're walking into every game knowing that the X is on your back and you're going to get your opponent's best game, period. And it was good for our kids, to experience that level of success. So we did lose the championship game this year. And the question I got from one of the newspaper administrator, the Washington Post, said, "Well, Coach, the 83 game win streak, is that affected because that was regular season wins and not tournament wins?" I said, "No, we're going to look at it as we're going to start all over again." And I think by us having that mindset, it's made us be more detail oriented, more locked in, more focused, um, and we'll be better prepared moving forward. I think as we continue to win, we might got a little lackadaisical with some things that we normally would approach a lot differently as far as preparation
Mhm.
and everything that we do. And like now, I'm in a coach's clinic right now with my entire staff. We're down in a coach's clinic now. And, we just, we're locked into what went wrong, but more importantly, making sure it doesn't happen again, making sure we don't lose sight of the small things because we lost for small reasons, not nothing major. It was just small things. We wore down at the end of the season.
All right, Mel. So how was you preparing for your off season? Are you still working out? You doing spring training? Like what are you doing now?
Uh, I've been working on my DB training. I've been working out with Johnson. Uh, I'm trying to get some receiver training too. But right now,
Okay.
DB training. I've been doing little workouts at home. I mean, like 200 push-ups, sit-ups, squats, every.
So
And
you doing okay? So you already doing your off season, workouts and regimens. So you staying busy and fit.
yeah,
Any
And,
seven?
and he's in our off season also. We started off season January 22nd.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So are you doing any 707?
yeah, we are. We going
Oh,
to hotline 7 Coach Mike.
Yes, we're doing Pylon next month.
got you. So we already know the expectations next season is championship. All right, championship or bust. You got some really good players from what I've seen. So have you had any pushback from from what you guys are doing? You started off with a 3.0, you raised it to 3.5. I'm pretty sure that it maybe be a couple that may miss the mark, right? And some
Hmm.
parents say that, oh, well, they really only supposed to have like a 2.0, right? And may gave you some lip behind it. But how much pushback have you got for that? And from the community that you're trying to change?
Absolutely zero pushback.
Mm,
All support. All support. Parents support it. We do a lot of things to keep our parents. I'm very transparent, but to keep everybody on the same page, I think that's my responsibility to make sure that we're all on the same page. So I do parent meetings every month. I have a leadership council with my team where I have 9 captains that we're ready to form. We have player development meetings start next month, and I have administrative meetings bi-weekly, and I have I do a one-on-one with every parent and every player on the team. And I just started that this past Thursday, and it'll continue through the rest of the March and April period. So everybody knows where we are. If a kid falls back a little bit, we're going to catch it before it even becomes a situation. So because of the violent efforts that we're all making, there's absolutely no pushback. I think everybody's ecstatic with the expectations that we have, because what we want for our kids doesn't benefit anybody but the kid. And that's what it's supposed to benefit. Nobody gets a stipend because the kid got a 3.5 or gets a promotion because of that. The person that's going to benefit is that student athlete.
right. And so are you guys only inclined, right, to play middle school teams? Or are you guys able to play like recreational youth
We
teams?
can't, we can't.
You can't
Our
play
league
only
doesn't allow that.
okay, only middle school.
Yes, sir.
So you're able to schedule and travel, but it has to be a middle school team.
Has to be a school team. Yep.
Okay, because yeah, the reason I asked that because you got teams like Duluth. I'm not sure if you heard of them. Duluth
Hmm.
Wildcats. You teams like Rome. They also play like middle school.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. They also play middle school, but they also play teams that are in youth football. So
Yeah.
like they were able to play
We
the rare breeds to
Yeah,
welcome
we
all.
can't. I wish we could. I really do, because it's some games in this area people would sell. The stadium would sell out if we played certain teams, like the
Mhm.
Maryland Heats. The stadium would sell out. But yeah, I wish we could. But I'm really, if you got a connection with Rome or any way we can make that happen, we would love to play Rome.
I reach out. I reach out. That's what that's definitely what I do, man. Try to make them connection. That's why I call this show matchmaker, man. We need to get the best games being played,
Yep,
at all costs, man, because that's really what it's about, creating the memories for these young men to have so they can say, oh, I remember we played this team. They was either number one or number whatever. And man, I did this. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
exactly.
I'm very big on that. So do you guys have media out there?
Yes,
Okay, so the kids are also getting a lot of exposure.
Oh, we get a lot of exposure up here, man. I mean, we've been on. We played on ESPN twice. We've been featured in CNN, ABC 7, Channel 9, CBS, Channel 5, Fox, USA. We've been on everything. We get a lot of media attention.
And the other thing that I like about what you're doing is not only are you reaching out to local businesses, right, to assist with what it is that you guys doing. I think the fact that a kid, I read about a kid that was on your team that got an NIL deal who pretty much cried because it pretty much opened his eyes to some some other possibilities of making revenue, and it made it for him, like like an eye opener that okay, I
Right,
can do more. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I also seen that you have a you conflicted about introducing it. So where are you at now currently, with the NIL stuff?
Well, we're better educated now than we were when it happened last year.
Okay.
So what we're doing this year, we've brought in people who we brought in professional people to help us navigate NIL. We brought in NIL people to help us navigate NIL,
Okay.
who know more about the process than we do. And one of those partners for us is TD Banks.
Okay.
So they'll be in our players meeting. All of our players will open a custodial savings account this spring. Every player,
Oh,
okay, through TD Banks, because we want to make sure they understand the money management part of it. You know what I mean? And we want to get this process started before the season. I think during the season it became a distraction because you got 60 kids and you got 10 with NIL. When then you got 50 other kids asking why not me.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, well, they don't understand what comes with NIL also is how's your social media platform? You know, because you have to market yourself. They have to benefit from sponsoring you. So you have to have a great social media presence and platform and your character and all these other things that come into play. You have to be marketable, right? So I think that was an eye opener for all of us. But the biggest thing is partnering with TD Banks and Nike. We're partnering with both of those organizations to help us navigate the NIL because it's not going away. So we
Right.
better get used to it.
Mel, haven't I been saying all this?
Yeah.
I've been telling them this whole thing. I told them, I try to tell them, get your media handles straight, right?
Yep,
Show your level of influence. Start engaging with your people. You know what I'm saying? Because then when they
yep,
see that you got influence, then you're going to be valuable to them. See,
exactly.
a lot of people don't want to listen. I tried to tell them, like, listen, this is a business now. So I see a
Yep,
lot of parents get upset at the fact that I'm saying, look, man, you sitting up there, you're getting upset, and you're thinking training your son is the only avenue that you have. That's not even the half of it. You got to think the business side. The business
yep,
side was gonna get you, to where you trying to go. Make sure their social media handle is good because
yep,
they're gonna look at it. Companies nowadays, they love people who are established already. Where I ain't got to do much, I ain't got to build you, I ain't got to do you already established. All I got to do is send you a check. That's what they want. You see what I'm saying? And so the fact that you doing it, it just confirmed what I already believed in. So I'm happy. So I rest my case. I say this too, coach. The other thing that I like that you teaching them, and I think you was doing this before but before they got the first NIL deal, you was teaching financial literacy. It showed that
Correct.
that's one of the things that you was because you understood that sports and money go together. Sports and what I'm saying, like just the business aspect. So yeah, man.
Yep.
I'm glad. I think other than the football, Ramel, man, there's other aspects. I think you need to be picking this coach brain because the main thing that that I was really looking for when I got you on here is I just wanted to see, what did you have in store for Ramel, because he's already in a good situation. But then, when it comes to like a football team, they're a good team. But I just feel like the other things that you have going on is just it's just not being offered nowhere else. And I'm willing to say that,
Thank you. Thank you
confidently.
so much.
So yeah, man. Is there something that you looking to like create a program for, so you kind of teach other people? Because the way I look at it is, these are my babies. You know what I'm saying? Like all these kids, a lot of them are misguided, misled, and they need assistance. You know what I'm saying? They need this information. And so that's why, I started this podcast, show, so I can build it. So when these kids need assistance, or they not being looked at, this is the platform where, I'm building relationships with, other colleges and stuff, for them to trust what I say, and I can bring them somebody like, hey, this person is good. You may want to check them out. Like this is the relationship that I'm looking to bridge. You know what I'm saying? The gap that I'm looking to bridge. So that's one of the things that I'm looking to do. But I think he's in good hands. So Ramel, based on your decision, I'm confident in it. I'm happy that you decided to go there, right? Even though, I was looking at the what you were doing with the Bounty Boys, now you're a champion, but you can be champion in other areas. So you got my stamp of approval. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you're in a good space though. But what is some other things that you do, Coach, that people may not be aware of?
Oh wow. Well, what I'm looking to do now, I don't know how much longer I'm going to actually coach,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to create the blueprint for other programs. I want other coaches to embrace what we do, and not from an envious standpoint, more of a admiration, because I think envy is negative. Admirations means I'm willing to listen and learn, because if we've got 60 to 70 kids in our program. Well, if everybody that has the opportunity to do what we're doing does it, how many kids can we impact yearly with this same information? It's a lot of work. I know it. It's a lot of resources. But what I've discovered is that there are a lot of people in our communities who have the will and the resources to help. They just don't know how to get the money to the people that need it. Well, if you're not serving the community, how would the community know you exist?
Right.
And how would they know what you need? Right. And what's the greatest fear in our community? The age group 11 to 14 years old. Right. Well, when you see our kids, they're going to walk different, talk different, act different. And that's a breath of fresh air for people in our community. Now
Mm-hmm.
I want to help sustain that. So I think that if we could get more people, more schools, more coaches to understand the commitment they have to make to our kids as a whole, and not just football. Stop just focusing on the football part. That's the easiest part for them, is the
Mm-hmm.
football part. They struggle with the other stuff because they don't even know the other stuff exists. We were talking earlier, you mentioned earlier about the whole process that, and parents not knowing there is a process. They just think it's about training and development their kid and playing ball. They don't understand the business part. And what I always tell our guys is, after you're done playing for me, every coach you're going to talk to from that moment forward, they're in the business of football. They're not just coaching, they're in the business of it. You're talking about, I want to go to Alabama. When Coach Saban was there, he made $13 million. Kirby makes $8 million in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to make a mistake doing talent because you can play football if you got bad grades and bad character and terrible work ethics.
Right.
So you have to understand now, you're not just talking to Coach Mike anymore. You're now talking to a coach who has the same whistle I have, may have the same scheme and same verbiage I use, but he's a millionaire. That's the difference. He's a millionaire. So how do you interact with a millionaire? How do you talk to a millionaire? That's the part right there that's, I think, the biggest opportunity for everybody that deals with our young people. So that's some of the things that we do, is that we do mock interviews. We bring in different people from different walks of life to interact with our kids, right? And they don't know who these people are. And some of them are millionaires. And we
Mm.
take that feedback and give it back to our kids. This is how you did in that interview, and this is what you have to work on. I don't want you to be shocked the first time you sit down for an opportunity in life and you've never done an interview, a panel interview. You don't know how to enter a room when adults are in it, and you don't know how to enter a room or how to act when adults enter a room that you're sitting in. You have no idea how to engage them in that moment, and it's an awkward moment for both of you. So we do things like that as well, because we gotta make sure that when you leave us prepared. And again, not for high school. Not for
Mhm.
high school. If we treat this time with us as high school, then we're getting you prepared for college or whatever else you do after you're done with high school, military or work. We're getting you prepared for that.
And so I want to ask this question. So are you guys like like consider yourself like a feeder type of program for certain high schools?
We feed everybody.
Okay.
We want our kids to have opportunities to go everywhere, and wherever they match up best. My end game is perfect. That high school choice is the most important choice you're going to make in your life. So you better match properly with that high school.
Right. So when you see somebody getting ready to make a decision, what are some of the things that they should look at? If you're mentoring somebody and they say I'm thinking about choosing or selecting a team, what are some of the things that you would advise him to either ask the coach or understand about the program?
Well, first thing we do is we have our families assemble. We call it a circle of trust, right? Who's in that decision making room with you? Who do you have in that room with you? Um, you know, if it's me, if it's your mom, it's me, it's your granddad, it's your uncle, whoever. Who is in that circle that you trust that's going to help you make this decision? That's the first thing. Assemble your circle. Second, let's make sure that wherever you're talking about you're interested in, it resembles where you come from. If they don't have the same work ethics and values we have, you're going to struggle in that next situation, right? We give a lot of resources to our kids as far as after school and Saturday school and the mentoring, all the stuff we do. You can't walk into a situation, and some kids just can't walk into a situation where those resources don't apply, right? So we
Mhm.
look at, does it resemble us? Does it resemble where you come from? And then we have our kids choose 3 schools from the charter school league, a charter school system. I'm sorry, 3 schools from the public school, 3 schools from the private, and 3 schools from the Catholic school. We want you to choose a variety of schools. Choose 3 from each one of those, and then we'll start narrowing down to your final 3 or 4 schools. Once we've narrowed down to your final 3 or 4 schools, then we're going to set up shadow visits and other things like that. But I want you to do the research, get with your circle of trust, talk about each one of these schools in detail. When you meet with the coaches, we give them a list of questions to ask. We give them questions they need to go ask, right? What is your graduation rate? What is your support rate for after school or for tutoring? Um, what is your college acceptance rate? We give them those questions to ask, right?
Mm.
And that helps them make better decisions on where they're going to go to school. But I think the biggest piece was assembling that circle of trust. And then the parents, they can't go renegade and skip our process, because now you're asking me to undo a mess you done made, right? We have all these things in place. We have all the relationships with the schools. We know who the contact people are in all these schools, and we can get things done a lot faster as long as you work with us and not work against us trying to circumvent the process. And I tell them, don't add confusion, don't add mayhem to confusion, right? Choosing a high school is already confusing enough. Don't add mayhem to it.
Mm.
Don't do that. Don't go out and circumvent the process and now you made it a mess, right? Because you got 2 schools you didn't make promises to, and you got all this other stuff going on, and people don't trust you, and you want me to sort it out. I can't do it. Slow down the process, stay in, trust our process, and you'll get exactly where you're supposed to go and exactly what you're supposed to get when you get there.
Man, hey coach, you make me want to reverse my age to come back and play on your team, man. Cause I feel like, man, if I was to get this type of information when I was that age, man, I'll be in a much better space. Although I got, friends and the professional level and stuff now, it's just the knowledge, man, that it comes with. See, I know what I know now, but what it is, like I said, you confirming, the things that I've been saying this whole duration. But like, are you familiar and do you have a relationship with any colleges?
Oh
Besides-
yeah, yes sir. Trust that. What I do is when I go to like I'm in a clinic now, coach's clinic now. When I go talk to college coaches, and I got friends at every level of college football, um, I'll ask them, give me some things I can take back to my team, foundational things, right? And these are the things we build our program on. Like one thing that we do, our players are evaluated on how they maintain their space in the locker room. Now, people may say, well, what does that got to do with anything? Well, what's the biggest thing that your mom said to you growing up in her house? Clean your room, take the trash out, right? Well, the difference of your mom saying it to you and Nick Saban saying clean your locker space, or the equipment manager complaining about your equipment or complaining about your locker space, you just lost your scholarship because you couldn't put your cleats in your own locker.
Mm.
Okay. Now, mom told you that since you could understand what she was saying when she started talking to you, you could understand words. She told you to clean your room, take your trash out, make your bed up. Now you get to college and they're telling you you don't keep your locker straight. Your equipment's not straight, this, that, and the other. So that's one of the things we get stuff like that. We get nuggets like that we bring back. And my players are evaluated on their locker space, how they maintain it, their interaction with the equipment people, our team managers. How do you interact with them? I'm going to evaluate you on that because that's a very important person in a college program, the equipment manager, a very important person,
Mhm.
right? So we're gonna develop that respect for that position now. We're gonna develop that respect for your locker room space now. So then when you won't come back from college saying I lost my scholarship because I couldn't maintain my locker room space.
Mm.
So
And
I
that
go to these guys and get those nuggets from them.
Yeah, and that's crazy because that adding on to the information that I got from recruiters, and because I literally that's my first time hearing that, so I'm glad you shared that. But the recruiter said I go to the games, they don't know that I'm here, and I come to take a closer look at the players, right? I want to see how they act during adversity. Do they downplay their kids? I mean, they players, right? Or do they lift them up in certain moments? And also, I'm coming there. I want to see what the parents are like. Are they very
Yep.
disruptive? And you wouldn't believe, at least three of them told me that they have decommitted from players because of their parents.
Because of the parents.
Because I said,
Yep.
wow. So it wasn't nothing that he did. He did
Yeah.
everything that you guys, wanted him to do, and he
Yep.
met every standard that you guys expect. But because their parents, they lost that scholarship.
I mean, you think about it. Think about it. No one's going to ever come home from college and tell you why they lost their scholarship. They're not going to tell you the truth, right? So you have to go somewhere where the truth can be told. And you go back to I guess about 8 or 10 years ago, or somewhere around that time, when Snoop's son and Puffy's son were playing college ball at USC and UCLA. Well, Coach Mora was the head coach of UCLA. He threw Puffy and his son off campus because Puffy came on the field asking about playing time during practice. And Coach Moore, like, I don't care who you are. I don't care how famous you are. So parents, they don't understand. And it only makes sense they wouldn't understand because most parents have never experienced playing collegiate sports. So why would they understand? So you got to have places like ours that help educate the parents as well on this process, right? So I have to not just work with the kid, I got to work with the family as well. I got to make the mom and dad understand how to interact and the fact that, at on social media, colleges hire former police officers and investigators to monitor social media on their recruits.
Mm.
So they create fake pages and they join a kid's social media platform, and they're looking for the things you like, not just what you post. What do you like also? Right? So if you showing, the most famous picture of holding money in your hand and stuff like that, you could lose your scholarship for that. If you like somebody fighting, or if you like somebody doing something negative, you could lose your scholarship for that. Right? So it's important that we educate not just the kid, but the parent as well. So I tell my guys, your social media should only show three things: workouts, school, community service, and actually fourth, family. That's all your social media should show. Nothing else. You should have nothing else on your social media. But you working out, you doing something academically, you doing something in the community, and something with your family. That's it. Nothing
Hey,
else.
hey, coach, I don't know how much time you be having. I don't know what you be doing on Thursdays. But I look, man, spoken from the wise. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you got time, but I would love to have you back on. And then, hey, the crazy part about it though, is you already touched on the fact that Ramel is a very good athlete. He's already well, read. He's very good on the the defensive end as a DB, all that, right? Ain't scared
Hmm.
to tackle or none of that. But the fact that he's about to come and then get even more, you know what I'm saying? I just think people need to pay attention to him now, because when he get to the high school, and a lot of people may look and say, oh well, I'm a little bit bigger than you and I'm this, and and some people may wonder why, like, how is he getting a chance over me and I'm bigger, I'm this, I'm that. It's going to be what he got in here that's
The
keep putting him in
intangible.
the,
Yep.
yeah, that's keep putting him in a spot to where he's making a difference. And so when you mention IQ, that let me know, like, yes, he knows the game, but you don't know all. It's some things that you weren't being taught that you about to get. So I'm very excited. I appreciate him bringing you on, but coach, I'm gonna probably need you on, on one of them Thursdays or something, man, just to kind of drop a few gems to my audience, man, because like everything that you're saying, I've been saying it, and they just need to hear from somebody else. Sometimes it's like that kid when the parent is telling them something over and over, and they don't believe it until somebody on the
Right.
outside tells them. So I definitely appreciate you coming on.
I
But
appreciate it too.
anything that you want to say, Mel? And I know I end up interviewing the coach, but they already know you. My audience definitely already know who you are, but they need to know the type of knowledge you about to acquire, which is a beautiful thing. So not only would you be scholarship ready, not only would you be I have a higher IQ on the field, not only would you be prepared for the next level, but you will have the know it all, far as like how to get NIL deals, making money, in those type of ways and stuff like that. So, man, I'm very excited, and you already know I'm gonna be paying attention to what you're doing because I already do that anyway. So, I just thank you for inviting the coach on, and I thank everybody for tuning in, man. But anything else that y'all want to say?
I want.
But I'm gonna say this about I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this about Mel real quick. Um, I'm excited about him and his family. The opportunity to work with him, and I was telling some high school coaches today, I have the best DB in the country on my team.
Hmm.
You better get to know him now.
You, Mel?
Before we get, I want to shout out all my Walker's teammates and my Walker's coaches for everything they did for me.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, definitely leave graciously. Like you say, you're a champion. Coach got many championships. It only right. that you guys merged together. And man, I'm very excited about just the future for you, Mel. So man, I just thank y'all for tuning in and coming on and sharing this information with me. You know, but that's all I got for y'all, man.
Thank you again, man. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Oh yes, sir, Coach.
All right. All right, Mel.
Go Johnson.
We are Johnson.
Woo! Did y'all get that knowledge? I'm sorry, Mel. You my guy. Like I said, my audience already know them. But did y'all get the knowledge? I understand why he won over 10 championships. I understand why the program is good. I understand why they're is as good as they are. Man, that's crazy. Like, not only are they thinking business, not only is he building relationships with local businesses and stuff like that, but he's also preparing the kids to have a 3.5. Now you got to maintain a 3.5 in order to play for coach. That's crazy. That's crazy. And not only that, them kids gonna be better off for it. So if I can model anything after anybody, it would definitely be this coach, because like they're setting their players up for the next level if they so choose, to follow suit. If they want to go to college, they already getting, the information that they need to make sure that happens. But man, if y'all haven't had a chance to check out Coach, make sure, man. It was his name is Coach Mike Sharrieff. And I'm telling you, this need to be the mindset of every coach. And if we can get the coaches to think like him, right? Whether it's the financial literacy, the building relationships with the companies, and these are all the things that I've been saying about what coaches need to do. And basically what he did, he just confirmed everything that I've been saying, right? That coaches need to be doing in order to be able to travel. Hey, bro, my bad, PA. I seen your thing. He says legendary run of coaches on NIC, including 7+ from 10U division alone. Man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if people figured it out yet. All I'm looking to do, man, is bring y'all the wise, the knowledge, some people that knows how to do it and what they're doing. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Embrace the knowledge, man. I'm only telling y'all what should be done, because the old way is not the right way. And what's the old way? Just taking my son and training my son, and he gonna go to the NFL. Bro, it's bigger than that. Why are you gonna leave possibly millions and hundreds of thousands on the table and try to go to the NFL? Everybody's not going to the league. Keep telling y'all that. I'm not saying that because I don't think that y'all not good enough. I'm saying things happen. People get injured. Um, sometimes they take a player that they see just a little bit more development in, right? There are several reasons as to why, right, players don't make it. Now, like my guy Damian Lillard said, he said, I made it to the NBA because somebody else didn't take it as serious as I did. I'm not even the best player out there. That's what my guy Dame said. But somebody will leave an opportunity for him to make it to the league. You see what I'm saying? Because of these situations. But things can be different now because you don't have to make it to the league. Now, let's say back in a time, right? If today was the same as back then, Dame would have been making millions in college. He wouldn't have to go to the NBA, right? That wouldn't have been his only mindset. You see what I'm saying? But now we can make money. Not only that, if coaches do it right, if the presidents come together, smarten up, get grant writers and all this other stuff, if we able to do that and to bring funds and money and hold these companies accountable for being in our community but not sharing any of the wealth, if we don't if we don't start that, then we're gonna be backwards. We're gonna continue to go backwards, man. All these companies out there, they need to write off taxes. Go get that money, man. Cause I'm definitely trying, and I'm gonna start asking the community to do y'all part into helping these kids when I ask for donations and stuff like that. Cause we got to make sure that these kids are in the best space. And the best thing that we can do at this moment, right, is start preparing business. That's why a lot of people right now are worrying about the whole DEI thing and all that other stuff because we're not business ready. Let's start creating our own business, right? And start supporting that business. And I thought Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, which they losing their mojo. Atlanta used to be, the city of support. It's not really like that no more. I mean, they still support, but it's not, they don't have that aura no more. That aura of togetherness. Anybody that knows Atlanta, like back in Welcome to Atlanta when it players play, right? In that age, them Ludacris and all them on the same record and supporting each other, everybody from the South. That's why a lot of them made it and was successful. You feel what I'm saying? But man, this might have been one of my better interviews because I can take so much of what Coach said and I can chop it and screw it. You feel what I'm saying? Uh, You said what's on for tomorrow? Man, we might be talking about Coach, man. Coach Walker or something like that. They talking about how he stole or misled the people and stuff like that, scamming people. So we gonna address that, man. I've been looking into it. I seen his apology. I mean, not apology letter, but a long letter that he wrote and stuff like that. And it was pretty touching. But then they brought out some more evidence, and it was like, bro, shut the hell up with that. I want you to feel sorry for me speech. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk about some other stuff that's on the menu. I had the AKA boys on here, right? Want to talk about that. We got some stuff on the menu. We got some stuff on the menu. He says Watkins Hornets organizations have been putting kids in school for years. Just check our track record. We wish Mel the best. Hey man, shout out to y'all, coach. Shout out to y'all. And in fact, man, I think y'all blocked me, coach. I think y'all, I'm not sure because none of my stuff went to y'all. But hey, I would love for y'all to come on here, man. This is a platform for all y'all. I need y'all to come on here. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Mel. Like he said, man, he thanked y'all for all that y'all did. He left graciously, but I do think that the time that the coach have for Mel is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit better this year. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I do expect y'all to still be, still be them dogs. And in fact, Watkins, coach from Alpha Dogs, they won a game. So tap in with me and make sure, bro. I'm not sure if I got the right page, man. I'm not sure. But I do be trying to send y'all stuff and it reject it. So make sure y'all send me a message. I would love to get y'all on here, man. I would love to get y'all on here. But hey, man, that's my hour. I thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Got Coach on here, spit some jewels, some knowledge, some great information. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all I got for the night, man. I'm out. Hey, but Watkins, hit me, man. Hit me.